It's the Monday before the BoyleSports.com Derby Decider, and as tradition would have it, it's time for the Derby Lunch. It gave us a chance to catch up with those feeling the pressure. Just 5 days shy of the BoyleSports.com Derby Decider, and a great sense of excitement here at the Derby Lunch. Kevin, everybody's in good form, looking forward to it, I think.
Yeah, well, all the connections are going to be counting down the minutes, the hours and the days, and I'm sure the butterflies will start coming up in their stomachs and they'll start working out what way they fancy the race to work out to most benefit their dog. And the way the trap draw has worked out, every greyhound in the final has got a reasonable chance. Definitely the one to beat will be the Log Hill Blake dog, but you'd have to say the way the trap draw has worked out, every dog is drawn to perfection, and I promise it to be a cracking final.
Now the dust has settled after Saturday night. We've had a chance to look back at the semi-finals, and looking at your betting, Log Hill Blake obviously was always going to be favourite, but you put him in not too short and again not too big. He's about right, probably at 4 to 5.
Yeah, he probably is in and around, depending on what kind of support comes. Generally there is one dog that's backed in a Derby final. There'll be a lot of support. It's just a question of figuring out which dog that will be. You can see the support coming in for Ballymacvic and Tyre Sugar Ray just on their popularity alone. Vulturi, a strong stayer, was starting to show a bit more early pace. Emer Superstar drawn well close to the fence. Borneo is going up well as well, and then you have the favourite Log Hill Blake. So it's just a matter of seeing what one comes for support. Vulturi is still our biggest loser due to the anti-post book that saw significant support on him, so he would be still our biggest loser. I just think that Blake will, someone will probably go evens, but I just think he will go off odds on come time of the race. I still think he'll go off odds on the basis of what he's done so far. Do you think the general public here on Saturday night will get involved that heavily on an odds on chance? Not normally the case. Certainly the 5 or 10 or 20 punters would sooner back something at a bigger price, and the question is which of the bigger price ones will they plunge for rather than the short price favourite? Yeah, exactly. I think the general public will look for something at a bigger price, but the more heavy hitters will probably stick with Log Hill Blake, so that will probably keep him pretty short. I do understand that the 20s and the 50s will probably come in on the likes of Ballymacvic or your Tyre Sugar Rays, but I do think the heavy hitters might just stick with Blake. He's been the most consistent, he's been the best starter in the competition so far, he's done little to nothing wrong so far, and I just think he'll still go off very short in the night. Of course, we have to give the two old veterans I mentioned, Tyre Sugar Ray there for the 3rd time and Ballymacvic for the 2nd time, but of course he also won a consolation derby, 3 derbies ago. These are 2 greyhounds that no matter what happens, they may not be the plunge dog in the night, but they will probably balance your book. You'll get money on them. Exactly, and you have to go back to Spanish Battleship for the last greyhound to emulate reaching 3 finals. Spanish Battleship went out and won those, of course, but Tyre Sugar Ray and Ballymacvic, I don't think we'll see 2 dogs at the same time producing the runs that these have over a significant period of time. I think you have to tip your hat regardless of what happens. It's an achievement in its own. I know a lot of people say, oh, they haven't won as much as they probably should have, but to reach 3 Derby finals in a row, to reach 2 and to win a consolation in a row, it's unbelievable. When you actually break it down that a greyhound's racing span is probably limited to about 2.5 years, and yet they've done it 3 years. It's unbelievable achievement to all connections and to the greyhounds themselves. And of course both greyhounds already successful sires. They both had plenty of winners on the ground. The Irish track scene will be different when they finally retire. Yeah, exactly. It'll be sad to see the back of them. We've tried to hold on to them for as long as we can, and you have to give significant credit to Liam Dowling and PJ Fatty to actually keep those dogs in training. Many times we saw the best dogs going into early retirement, and I'm delighted to see that that's not the case. The breeding game probably isn't as strong as it was a while ago, so people are inclined to keep their dogs in training for as long, and that's what we all want to see. We want to see the best dogs running while they're at their peak, and as long as they can run to a high level, we want to see them racing. That's what the sport is about, and I've got to say it'd be a much duller derby if those 2 weren't still in it. Tyre Sugar Ray, his 3rd Irish Derby final. It's some achievement. I know you have a soft spot for the dog, understandably, but the whole public have a soft spot for the dog. Do you feel responsibility for that reason? Yeah, no, it's hard to describe how good he is. For a dog to get to 3 of Group 1 finals alone would be a good achievement. Never mind 3 years in a row in the Derby. But it's just the way his style of racing and everything, the crowd just seems to have taken to him. He's real swashbuckling style, and he's from the 2nd bend on, he just takes off. No matter where he is and no matter how far he is behind, you always give him a chance. So no, it's great that the public has really taken to him, and we're just delighted to be there. The dog aside, does it help that you've won a couple of derbies in the past, approaching a derby final like this? Yeah, it does. Though it does. It's great that we have that experience from before, and there's less pressure this week. And the lads at home, they've done a fantastic job so far. And Dad is, he's really
he's really delighted that he's made the final. You know, after the quarter-final, after the big run in the quarter-final, his one thing was that he wanted to get to the final. It'd be no good coming fourth last week and, you know, the whole thing would be forgotten about, but getting to the final was Dad's big aim, and, you know, it's great for the lads at home that they're able to enjoy this week now. There's not that much pressure either because the 6 dog is hot favourite, and, you know, it's a nice way to go into it. Like, he had the chance, we all know he's a chance, as do all the finalists, but it's a nice way to go into it.
It'll be absolutely fabulous, you know. These guys, it's what they've been after, 30 years in New York. You know, I rang Tom on Saturday night, and after the race, he just said to me, well, and I said, book your ticket. And all he said to me was, yes, yes, yes. And please God, look, the dog does well for them, you know. If you're to say, has he got it, he has it. Is he going to do it? I don't know. He only knows, you know. And it's, as I say, he has a whisper. Does he have a shout? He has a whisper, you know. And they'll love it, you know. To get to a final, like there's 138 dogs started out this year. There's 6 left. You ask the 132 owners that started out, other 132, would they take our shot up Saturday night? They'd jump ahead.
He's been an incredible servant. No matter what happens from here on, he's always been a superstar, but it'd be a great way to perhaps put a cherry on the top of his career.
Absolutely, absolutely. Look, it has been a bonus for us. Look, we entered him in the Champions Stakes. We said we'd take a chance, and some people said if we wanted a real crack at the Derby, we shouldn't do this and that. But look, the dog was telling us he wanted to go, and he was in great form. And look, it worked out. And some people thought that he might tire, and look, the dog is there. He's running out of his skin. Last week he might have been a little bit lucky, and he was a little bit unlucky in running. But look, you need to get a bit of luck, and he's after finding it, and he's in the final. He takes his place, and he's there on merit, and we're hoping for a big run. And Michael Donovan's dog is absolutely ultra consistent every night. He's doing everything right. Last week he blew out of the traps, and a repeat of that, it'd be very, very, very hard to beat him. But look, finals are funny, and you never know what happens.
Vulturi, nothing will be finishing faster than this fella.
No, probably not. But Vulturi is a super dog. He's, I suppose, there's a bit of a story behind him, as in he was put off. He was sidelined for a good bit. He had a stress fracture in Limerick in the 3rd round of the Concorby. In the 2nd round, he came from behind Boyle Sports Hero, which we know what Boyle Sports Hero has done since. He came from behind him and beat him a couple of lengths in 28-25, which was a phenomenal run. So we know he's a super dog, and he will probably be off the pace a little bit at the start, but if there's any little bit of trouble or anything like that, he won't be too far away.
Gringo, we had Borneo, and of course we had Machu Picchu. So, like, it's obviously a running theme. South America must mean a fair bit to you. You must have had some crack over there.
I love that. I like to travel. Yeah. And try to pick up an odd name, because it's very hard to name a dog now that they're all gone. Yeah. And I don't do prefixes, so.
And of course, you knew Borneo from an early stage was a fairly useful tool. Now, you said you like to travel. 125 grand to win, and I know you're on a 200-1 for a small few quid each way. You could afford to travel after this.
I'd say we could be spending Christmas in Borneo if we win.
You might bring Peter and the dog if that happens.
No, I won't bring Peter, I'll bring the dog.
He seems to be a calm, cool dog on parade every night, and you know, barring a bit of bad luck, or take out the bad luck, this dog has a chance at a reasonable price.
Look, we have the favourite in Trap 6, Lockwood Blake. Very good dog, and Michael Dunn, great trainer. I think we have a chance, just because he's doing everything right. He's consistent, he's breaking well, and he's killing a lot better, as you said. So I think we have a chance.
You have an odds-on favourite in the Derby. That must be a special feeling.
Yeah, it's a great achievement just to get the dog to the final. So hopefully it should go okay.
Now, Michael O'Donovan, he's a man of few enough words. He seems confident. He was really hoping the dog would get Trap 6 in the final before the second semi-final. As it happens, he's only wide seed. He is in 6. He's drawn to run his race, and that's the main thing.
Yeah, we're happy he's in 6. The one night he was in 5, he seemed to miss the break a bit, and last night in 6 was his best break so far.
Of course, in the semi-final, he did a 3:31 split. I suppose you'd take the same again this Saturday night.
Yeah, that'd be, if he was able to do that, like, if he can do the same run again, like, I'd be happy with that anyway.
Of course, he is odds on. It brings extra pressure. Like, it'd be easier if he was a 10-1 chance. You're going, well, sure, whatever happens, happens. But to have an odds on favourite in a Derby, I imagine there is a bit of pressure on you.
There is, yeah, but you'd rather have the favourite than the 10-1 shot. So.
We're going to put you on the spot. Your first, second, and third, please.
Loughill Blake, I'm going to go for the win. I just think his early pace will see him too far in front. I think the start will be crucial. For me, I've a little bit of an opinion that 2 and 3 are going to collide. I think Emer Superstar moved out last week, and if you go back 2 runs ago when Ballymacvic was drawn in trap 4, he moved in significantly. I can see the 2 of those colliding, and I think then it'll be second and third for Tyre Sugar Ray and Vulshori. Picking the correct placings, I'd go Blake to win. I'll probably go Vulshori to finish second, and I'll go for Tyre Sugar Ray to finish third.
There you go, straight trio.
There you go.